Good evening. Tonight we're going to continue Unit 4, Lesson Set 27. Subtract a mixed number from a mixed number. Oh boy, another challenging lesson, but you guys got this. 4 and 3/10 take away 2 and 9/10. Another way of looking at this, you could say 2 and 9/10 plus what is going to give you 4 and 3/10. So we know that we can't take 9/10 from 3/10. So we're going to have to do some magic here. Okay, so let's take the 4 and the 3/10. And what we're going to do is we are going to need to take that whole and remove a whole from it. Since we're talking about tenths, it's going to turn into a 3, and we're going to have a new fraction of 10/10 to represent a whole, because 3/10 is really just 4. And then what we need to do is we need to make sure that we add on our extra 3/10 to now we get 3 and 13/10. Now we're able to subtract it with 2 and 9/10. So when we subtract our wholes, 3 minus 2 is 1. And the denominator stays the same. 13 take away 9 is 4. So 1 and 4/10. So what can go into 4 and 10? What is the greatest factor that 4 and 10 share? Well, 4 and 10 share the 2. So we're going to divide the top and the bottom by 2. So now we're going to have 1 and as our whole, 2 in the numerator, and 5 in the denominator. So our new mixed number is 1 and 2/5. 6 and 1/5 take away 1 and 4/5. So we know we can't take 4/5 away from 1/5. So we're going to have to take out a whole. So let's take out a whole out of here, one whole, and we're left with 5 wholes. And our denominator is 5, so that means our fraction is going to be 5/5 to represent that whole, because 5 and 5/5 is just really 6. Then we have to make sure we add on this extra fraction, and we're now going to get 5 and 6/5, and we're going to take away 1 and 4/5. So when we do 5 minus 1, we're going to get 4 as our whole, and in the numerator we're going to get 2, because 6 minus 4 is 2, and the denominator stays the same. So our new mixed number is 4 and 2/5. If we look at 2/5, can we divide anything with 2 and 5? Do the 2 and 5 have any common factors? They do not. So 4 and 2/5 is already in simplest form. 7 and 2/12 take away 3 and 10/12. Well, we can't take 10/12 away from 2/12. So we're going to have to pull out that whole. So once I pull out this whole, we're left with a 6 wholes. And since our denominator is 12s, our whole is going to represent 12/12. Because 12/12 is a whole. 6 12/12 is really 7. So we are going to make sure that we add on our 2 12s, and we're now left with 6 14/12, and we're going to subtract that with 3 and 10/12. And we're now going to get 3 as our whole. Take away 14 and 10, we're left with 4, and our denominator stays the same. So now we have 3 and 4/12 as our new mixed number. But carefully look at 4/12. What does 4 and 12 have in common? What common factor do they share? The greatest one would be 4. You want to go as high as you can, because 2 would have worked, but then you would have had to divide it by 2 again. So our whole is 3. Our numerator becomes 1. 4 goes into 12, which is 3. So our new mixed number, a simplified mixed number, is 3 1/3. Okay, 3 1/6 take away 1 4/6. Cannot subtract 4 from the 1. So we have to pull out that whole. Take that 3, pull out one whole, which we're left with 2. Because our denominator is saying 6, our whole is going to represent 6, 6. 2 and 6, 6 is equal to 3. Don't forget to add on your extra fraction. So it becomes 2 7, 6. And we're going to subtract that with 1 4, 6 to get a new answer of 1. And our numerator is 3, and our denominator is a 6. So 1 3, 6 is our mixed number. But let's zoom in here. Does 3 and 6 have any common factors? They do. The common factor they share, the greatest one, would be a 3. Okay, so our whole number is still a 1. In the numerator, 3 goes into 3 once. Denominator, 3 goes into 6 twice. So our new simplified mixed number is 1 1/2. 5 3/8 take away 2 7/8. Well, I can't take 7/8 from 3/8. So we're going to have to do this, pull out the whole from that 5. Pull out one whole, we're left with 4. Since we're dealing with 8s, our whole that we're going to pull out is going to represent 8 8s, because 4 8/8 is equal to 5. And we're going to make sure we pull this fraction down and add it on. And now we have a whole number of 4. The numerator is 8 plus 3 is 11. The denominator is 8. And now I'm going to subtract 2 7/8. So our whole, 4 minus 2 is 2. Our denominator stays the same. 11 minus 7 is 4. So it's 2 4/8 is our new mixed number. But let's examine 4 and 8. Do they have any common factors? They do. The greatest common factor that 4 and 8 share is 4. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 4. So our new mixed number, well, our whole is going to be 2. The numerator is going to become a 1. 4 goes into 8 2 times. So now our new simplified mixed number is 2 1/2. 8 3/12 take away 5 7/12. Well, we know that we can't subtract 7/12 from 3/12, so we have to pull out that whole. So here's 8. I'm going to pull out a whole, which leaves us with a 7. And since we're talking about 12s, we are going to make our fraction represent that whole 12 12s. But make sure we're going to add on the extra 3 12s. And we're getting a new mixed number, 7 15 12s. Okay, so that's a mixed number that has a fraction greater than 1, or an improper fraction, but which allows us now to subtract that with 5 7/12. Now it will work. Our whole, 7 minus 5, is 2, and our denominator stays the same. 15 minus 7, well, that would be 8. So we have a new mixed number of 2 8/12. Now, again, let's zoom in. 2 8/12. Well, 8 and 12. What factor do they have in common that will go into 8 and 12? Well, I'm hoping you're going to say a 4. Okay, so now we can divide. So our whole number is still a 2. The numerator, 4 goes into 8 2 times. The denominator, 4 goes into 12 3 times. So our new simplified mixed number is 2 2/3. Don't stop. Just keep going. All right. Keep going the next 2 problems to see how well you do. First one, 6 1/6 minus 1 3/6. And I want to see your work tomorrow. and be sure your answers are in simplest form. 5 and 1/6 take away 2 and 4/6. And again, want to see your work tomorrow and be sure your answers are in simplest form. Keep calm and keep it cool. You see where it says keep clam? Keep it cool. All right, well, keep it calm and you'll be able to work this out and do the netting problems by yourself. And you'll turn out to be like, this math is cool. All right, have a wonderful night.